Everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. I was trying to flip over so I could see comments and kind of got distracted. Anyway, you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Sunday, and I always jump on Sundays and share a project. And today I thought I would play with the Celebrate with tags. Now, during a recent team event that I did, for my team, we made a bunch of tags using the Celebrate with Tags bundle. And so I really love this. And when I first saw this stamp set and dies, I immediately thought of making shaker cards with it, or shaker tags. So I'm going to make a card and make a shaker tag out of the largest of the tag dies, and I'm going to put it on a card because I just think that would be so much fun. And I have to admit, I just opened for the very first time, because I was looking for what sequence I was going to be used, the For Everything Fancy sequence. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. They have got iridescent and sequins and little pearls in them. And they come so much better packaged if you had the previous sequence. They're all in individual little plastic containers to keep the colors separate. So they're pink, blue, and green. So that's what I'm going to use to fill my shaker card. All right, let me switch over to my desktop and we will get started. All right, first of all, so I started to put things together. So this is the Celebrate with Tags stamp set. So you've got all these great sentiments that coordinate with the dies. And then the dies, you get 2 tag dies. So this is the smaller one, and then the larger one that I've already started to put onto my cardstock. And then you get all these pieces that you can cut out, including this one, if you want to kind of make it look like there's snowflakes. Hello. Candles, 2 different candles, one's with little spots and one's with diagonal stripes, the balloon, the snowflake, this great mitten. And I'm going to use the heart. So as I said, I started to stick mine on, and I was trying to hold this dies in place so that because I'm going to put a window. This little stitched rectangle is one of the dies, and so I'm going to create the window for my tag, and I want that to be held in place when it cuts so that it doesn't shift and I don't get the tag or the opening kind of off center. And then this is a stitched heart, and I'm going to use that one. So I've got Blushing Bride. So my card is going to be Blushing Bride and white. Thought I'd make maybe a birthday card or something like that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this tag out. So I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss. You will need the large machine for this because this is, although it is narrow enough to go through. Well, actually, you probably could use the mini. I just didn't think of that. But because this is, you would have to cut your tag separate from your heart. In this case, I've got a piece of Blushing Bride paper, and I'm going to cut it all at once. So that's my plan. All right, so we'll run this through. There we go. Let's make sure it all cut. Can go out of the way. Please. Okay, so we've now got I've just got this adhered on. I use Post-it note tape just to hold my dies in place when I'm cutting. Just makes it easier. Isn't that a fun little heart? Stitched heart. It's kind of very cute. Put the dies back. Okay. All right, so we've got everything cut out to make the shaker. So I'm going to work on the shaker card first. We don't need that. So for the shaker, you're going to need a piece of window sheet. So I've cut this 2 inches by 3 inches, which will cover this hole. And then I've got a piece of basic white because I'm going to do some stamping on the back. So this die, not only does it cut out, it also embosses, oops, the score lines that you need. Everything's falling out of my container. All right, so I've got my bone folder. So I'm just going to fold on the score lines. And then you can make a, my scissors. You can make a gift card holder with this tag as well. It's got these 2 flaps on the side. I'm going to cut them off because I don't need them for my shaker card. But if you were making a gift card holder, those would fold in and your gift card would fit in it. But because I don't need those flaps and they'll just get in the way with my shaker card, I'm just going to take and cut them off. Okay, so what we're going to do first is if you want to do any stamping on your basic white so it shows through, now's the time. So I am going to do some stamping in Blushing Bride, and there is this great stamp. Hey Rita, welcome, with the hearts. So I'm going to stamp some hearts just in here. Not all of these are going to show, and that's okay. So we're just going to take and put this, and we'll adhere this. Now you don't want to cover up. There is a hole that was cut. We're going to put some ribbon through that. And so we're going to put that in the center or in the back and just adhere that. Again, don't cover up your hole, otherwise you'll be poking through with that something. Okay, so we've just got our basic white. Again, this was 2 inches by 3 inches and just covers up or fills the space. So the next thing you need is a window sheet, which has, oh, here it is. So if you're using window sheets, you know that they're clear and they magically disappear. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this, again, this piece of window sheet is cut 2 inches by 3 inches, and I'm going to adhere that to the front. So it's going to cover the hole so that my sequence won't disappear out. Now, I don't have any Stamp and Seal, but that's typically what I do have Stamp and Seal. It's over on my other table. I haven't managed to get the refill, but I'm just going to use some tear and tape. And I'm just going to put this on the sides to hold my window sheet in place. You can use Stamp and Seal. You could even use liquid glue. I just find it easier with the window sheet to use either Stamp and Seal or tear and tape. All right, so then we're going to put our window sheet and cover up the opening so our sequence won't fall through. Okay, now what you want to do is grab these are the adhesive foam strips, and what you're going to do is we're going to put foam strips all the way around the opening of this window sheet. So just don't put it so there's show, just kind of put it around the edge, and you're just going to leave a little gap, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. You do want to make sure that there is no gaps between your pieces, your foam strips, because otherwise your sequence will fall out. So I'm going to butt these right up against this. And when I get to where I want to turn the corner, just cut. And again, butt that right up against. And then butt that up against the corner. And get as close as you can when you cut so that you haven't got a gap in there. Okay. Now I'm going to put pink in. One of the tricks to this I learned, because the first one I made, I filled it too full. So one of the things you want to make sure is you don't put too much sequence in here, so that it's you don't want it to be thicker than your foam. Aren't these pretty? So not only are there the iridescent ones, but there's ones that are kind of sparkly, and there's little pearls in here. So I'm just going to take, oopsie, there we go. That's probably not too many. So don't put too many in, so that it, what it'll do is push your adhesive away from the card base, and then I started to find sequence all over the place because I had really decided I was going to go to town. Now gently pull off your foam, or the backing off of your foam strips. Trying not to get the sequence kind of spilling out. So I'm kind of holding this base down with my left hand as I gently pull off the backing. All right, because there's nothing worse than sequence flying out all the way. And then I'm going to, these sequins are so much fun. I'm surprised I didn't open them before now. Now I'm just going to fold the back over onto the front, and I'm going to press it down really hard, so that I make sure that adhesive has caught in all the places. Now, I am noticing, I think it's okay. I think I'm just hearing the squish of the sequence. So just kind of go around and make sure that you've got it completely adhered so your sequence doesn't fall out. Now I will say that the pearls are quite thick, and so it is a little bit, but isn't that fun? This is so adorable. All right. So now I'm going to make this into a card. That's what I had said. So I've got a piece of Blushing Bride. Somehow I've got Evening Evergreen little bits. Now I think this is too big. Yeah, so what you need is a piece. I'm going to do mine, so it's a 10th fold, and you want it to be 4 1/4 by 11. So I've just trimmed mine to 4 1/4, and then I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. And grab my bone folder and give it a good burnish, always folding into that raised line or fold into the mountain. Yeah, Christmas ornament would be really fun with this. I did consider using the snowflakes. All right, I have a piece of basic white cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I was going to do some embossing on it, and I managed not to grab an embossing folder, so I'm just quickly going to do that. There we go. I just feel like it needs something. So I'm going to use the Time Worn type. It just is a really nice, subtle embossing folder. And so I'm going to put this in and bring in my machine again. Don't need these. This is a 3D embossing folder. So you need plate number 1 and plate number 4. And the one thing always to remember when you're putting your embossing folders through, always put the fold or the opening, not the side openings. So you want to run it through with either the bottom opening or the fold of the embossing folder. I have very rarely, but on occasion, have had it where the embossing folder rips or tears, and so the recommendation is that you always put it through so that it's going through with this kind of crease or fold, or this way, so the bottom opening, not sideways. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so there we go. I've got just a little bit of detail with this embossing folder. I don't know if you can see. There is a little bit of writing. It says harvest here. That's one of the words that you can see. You won't see this very much, but I do try to make sure I've got my words going the right way. It would bother me if I had my words upside down. Okay, so there we go. We're just going to adhere this on. There we go. Now, that's how that's going to go. What I want to do, I decided I was going to do some black and white. So I just thought that the pink with this black and white gingham ribbon would look really pretty. So I'm just going to cut maybe 6 inches or so of this gingham ribbon, fold it in half, and then tuck. Hopefully I can poke. If your ribbon's too thick, just take your piercing, your pokey tool of your, take your pick tool or a piercing tool and help poke it through, and then tuck your tails through so that will hold. And then I'm going to just trim this a little bit. I don't need that long. I really like pink and black and white. So I'm going to adhere that on. I'm going to use tear and tape if I can find my tear and tape. I just think I want to make sure this is held in place. You could use Stamp and Seal. You could use liquid glue, but I just want to make sure that it's a little heavier because of the sequence. So we're just going to make sure that it doesn't fall off. All right. So let's just put that kind of at an angle. Like that. All right, so we've got that. Now let's put a sentiment. Actually, I've got my heart. I still want to put my heart on. So I'm going to put my heart on, but I'm going to stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it in black just because I want to bring in some more black into it. So there is this heart, not heart, a sentiment that's XOXO. Just going to stamp that solidly. There we go. Now, there is a die that will cut this out, but I'm just going to save. Sometimes I just find cutting these out just by hand is just easier. So I'm just taking it and just roughly cutting. I'm not really worrying about if it's exact. It's straight lines. So I'm just going to take them. And there we go. All right, so let's just put that across like that. We'll use a dimensional. I think I need a mini dimensional for that. Or a couple of mini dimensionals just to pop that onto there. Like that. All right, okay, that's gonna go like that. So let's put that on like that. And now I'm not going to use a dimensional on this. This is quite thick, so it's going to be, we don't want to get it too bulky. So I'm just going to take a little bit of Stamp and Seal, and I don't want to, I'm just going to put, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Stamp and Seal, or not Stamp and Seal, liquid glue right onto where I want it on the tag. And that way I don't stand the chance of kind of spreading it overwards. So we're just going to put that heart like that. And then I've got a piece of basic white, and somewhere I had those hearts. So let's stamp some more of these pink hearts on the inside of the card. Like that. And I'm not going to stamp a sentiment. I'm just going to stamp the hearts. That way. I was going to make a birthday card, but I think I'll just do it as a kind of a nondescript sentiment, and then I can use it for anything. This would be a really pretty Valentine's card. I know that's a ways off, but all sorts of things you can do. I like the idea though of the tags for Christmas. All right, there we go. Isn't that pretty? I just love shaker cards of any sort. So so check out these, not only check out the Celebrate with tags, but these really pretty sequins in the pink, blue, and green, and then this amazing Celebrate with tags bundle that's in the mini catalog. Just so many things that you can do with it. All right. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are part of my Facebook group, then anybody's welcome to join. The link is underneath this video. If you make cards, any cards, I love to see them, so don't forget to share. At the end of every month, I draw some names and send some happy mail. So I'd love to see what you're creating. I will be back live on Tuesday with my sketch challenge. And again, I will have my promotion that I have going on. So if you purchase any or put an order in at the moment, you will get Festive Pearls, the Leaf Fall embossing folder, and the sketch. Now, depending. So if you depending on the amount of your order, you could get all three, or you may get the make and take kit for the sketch. It just varies depending on how much what you spend on your order. And I will have another promotion like that starting on Tuesday with my sketch. Again, you'll get the sketch, make and take kit, a set of embellishments, and a embossing folder. So all of this trying to help me earn the incentive trip, which I am getting very close to earning, and I just would love to be part of that. It's such an elite group of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. Less than 1% of 50,000 Stampin' Up! Demonstrators earn that incentive trip every year, and I would love to be part of that. All right, everybody. Hope you'll join me on Tuesday night for my sketch challenge, and then I will be back on Thursday night with the mystery challenge, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Happy stamping. Bye.